Claims that I'm offline, but I don't believe that. Let's try to start from scratch now. Okay. There we go. It wouldn't be a boat stream without internet issues, but now at least we'll be able to have more real-time chat interaction. Hey, Leif! Glad you guys made it back. I've already poured myself a big glass of sparkling water. Leif, you gotta get your lady on board with the soda stream, man. It'll change your life. Okay. I feel like my volume is a little bit too low. I'm going to turn myself up a little bit. All right. Well, there's no time like the present to get started. So once again, a big thank you to Randall for sending us this stuff. He's joined us on the Discord now, is getting to know the awesome Amigos community. As you can see, I've rearranged Amigos Studios a bit. I've added this table over here because I am now the proud owner of an SGI workstation PC, which I really don't know anything about, but it's gonna sit on this table along with my Spectrum and my Atari, and having this table right next to my streaming setup will allow more easy streaming. So that is what's going down. Fair fight. If you support any of our shows on Patreon, you get free access. Well, it's not really free because you're giving us money at that point, but you get access to our Discord. It is the place to be. But yeah, I got it, Paul. I got the SGI. Aaron talked me into it. He tried to talk me into it before, and then I sort of rebuffed his advances. I was like, what am I going to do with that thing? But then I watched Retro Man Cave's video on it again. And then I just started looking at pictures of how awesome they were, and I couldn't resist. The price was right, and it was. Aaron is going to pick it up this weekend and deliver it to my house. So it's going to be great. Glad to hear it, Leif. Glad to hear it. All right, one more sip, and then we're gonna start this. We're gonna start this bad boy up. Move away. Keyboard. And this. Okay. We're going to start with a small box. This is the smaller of the two boxes that are left. It's still quite large and hefty, though, as you can see. Okay. So, up first. Ooh, this is interesting. This is a Commodore data set. You know, I've never had a C64 before, but Aaron owns several, and we've got all these tapes now, and so this will be a cool thing to mess around with. I believe that, yeah. I was kind of hoping that this thing would just be a normal audio cable on the other side, so I could hook it up to the Specky, because sometimes I just like to run tapes, even though I can run stuff off my phone. But especially since I've got such a library of tapes now, but this is a proprietary connection to the C64. Looks like it's got a grounding dealio on it too. Check that out, little grounding dealio. All right, set that over there on the table of goodness. And we've got a package of games. Let's see what's here. All right, up first, this is, ooh, Amstrad. Amstrad CPC. This is Colossus for chess. Okay, does not appear to have the cassette or disc inside of it. This is a disc, but I'm glad to have the packaging anyway. It will look good on my shelf O games. I feel like the Amigos logo. I'm going to break the fourth wall. Be prepared to be stunned, as this is not an actual neon sign on our wall. We'll just kind of push that off into the left a little bit. However, this is a real wall. This is a real poster. This is the real Amigo Studios. I'm not in a far-off location. Okay. Up next, this is... Oh yeah, you can use any tape player with audio out. Absolutely. Neville, Leif. We've got Data Storm, just a package, empty box, Data Storm. This is a Defender clone. In fact, they even call it out on the back. They say the fastest shoot 'em up of all time, Defender with a Vengeance. We played this on the show. It was a really good game. It was a contender for, I think, Arcade Clone of the Year or something like that on the annual Amigos Awards. So yeah, glad to have that. And finally, Buggy Boy. This is for the Amiga, I believe, although it doesn't say. This might be for the C64. No, it couldn't be, right? Because it's a small disc. Yeah, Amiga. It doesn't say that anywhere on the front, but inside it says it's for the Amiga. Buggy Boy is a great, great, great arcade game. You can see it there. It's one of my favorites. Rob Flack O'Hara, actually, we did an episode of Amigos about Buggy Boy, and so when he was here visiting Amigo Studios. So yeah, glad to have that. Thanks, Leif. I've been working on it. I've been studying up. Okay. Here we go. This is The Land of Midnight. So I guess this is the sequel to The Lords of Midnight. Yeah. Oh, this is The Lords of Midnight. I take it back. I was confused by the back of the box. The back of the box is a map of the Land of Midnight. And of course, this is The Lords of Midnight on the front, which is a very epic strategy, or not strategy, a very epic role-playing game for the ZX Spectrum, although this is the C64 version. Conversion by Tag and the Kid incentive. So my guess is that maybe these guys sort of did the conversion on spec and Commodore paid them. Let's see if there's any fun stuff inside. The manual is, oh, this is not the manual at all. Okay, there's like a novelette here. Over half of the manual is this novelette, and then you've got your guide to play on the back here. So, all right, the box is very strange. I can understand why this was oh, I see, it's because it's been taped. But I can fish. There's the cassette tape for Lords of Midnight. I was checking to see if there was any other sort of feelies or anything, but I don't think there's anything else in there. It is, Neville. You are correct. I'm basically getting a library of games in one shipment. As you guys know, actually, you might not know, but I'll show you. Let me make it quick. Here. If I turn this around, why don't we not do that? Why don't we do this? That is the shelf of games over there, surrounding the TV. And I have a pretty good collection of Spectrum stuff, but hardly any Amiga. I usually let Aaron house the Amiga stuff. But now that whole top shelf is probably going to be full of Spectrum games, and then we'll line the shelves going down with the Amiga stuff and the various and sundry. And I might even build some additional shelves. I mean, there's nothing like a good shelf building party to really start you off right. I realize I've put myself a tad off center. There we go. That's better. Okay. So, oh yeah, Mike Singleton just recently passed away. I think it might have even been close to when we did the game or something. But oh, the 1200 XL is right over here. It's literally like I can pull it out. It's right there. It never leaves my side. It's always here. Greetings, by the way, Mark. Welcome. Okay. Let's see what this next bundle of games is. So this is sort of wrapped all as one. So get ready for a big... This is like an accordion of games. Okay. So, start things off. This is MAD. I'm guessing these are all C64 games. I don't know anything about MAD, but I've got it. This is Gangster by Light Fantastic. And again, without the box, it's hard to know exactly what kind of a game this is. It says, oh, it's a light gun game, because it says increasing brightness control on the monitor may improve the accuracy of the gun. So if Aaron has the light gun for the C64, we'll have to check that out. Oh yeah, Mark, absolutely. It is very generous. You've got that right. We do not deserve this. Now, when I saw this, I got a little scared because I didn't want to work blue. The name of the game is Hustler, and that and I immediately panicked because I don't want to go that route on this video. But this is a pool game. It's a billiards game. 6 pool type games for 1 or 2 players. Machine code. Again, this is back in the days when writing what language you wrote the game in could help sell your game. This comes to us from Bubble Bus Software, which we just did a game, a Spectrum game that was Bubble Bus. Last week's game, I believe, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. No, it was last week. It was the Starquake, I think, was a Bubble Bus joint. 87 High Street, Tonbridge, Kent. And they've got the telephone number, which I'm sure still works. Okay. This is Run the Gauntlet. It's a Hit Squad release. And I want to say, okay, this looks very interesting. This is it's a multi-event top-down racing thing, and you've got hovercraft, speedboats, jet skis, inflatables, buggies, quads, and supercats. I am definitely going to want to try this bad boy out. This sounds great. I love top-down racing games, and that's a nice variety of vehicles. Hey, Retro Man Cave, how's it going, man? We are knee-deep in the gaming awesomeness tonight. We got a loose copy of Super Cycle from Epix. I'm assuming that is a motorcycle game in the vein of Hang On, but I could be wrong. Again, I'm going to have to borrow one of Aaron's C64s. Oh, you know what's interesting? Look at this again. You know, the data set has no power, so it's a powered connection going into the C64. Is that right, guys? Is this a powered? I guess it is, and that's why it's got the grounding doohickey on it. That's very cool. I mean, when you consider nobody really goes to that trouble, it reminds me of my favorite Mac, which is, unfortunately I can't show you because it's directly opposite me behind the camera. I've got a Quicksilver G4 with an Apple monitor, and this is during that period when they made the cinema displays powered. So not only did you not have to connect power, but there was a USB hub integrated in, and of course every monitor does that now, but Anyway, I always like powered peripherals because you wouldn't want to see what this area looks like. If you look on my Twitter account, you can see what the streaming area looks like. It's just a rat's nest times a million. Okay, up next, this is a this is an Ocean release. This is Commodore Game, Set, and Match. It is a 2-in-1. You've got boxing on one side and snooker on the other. Pretty cool. They don't tell you which boxing or which snooker game it is, but that's part of the mystery, right? Okay. This is Konami Coin Op Hits. Another 2-in-1. This side is Green Beret, and the other side is Yar Kung Fu. Very cool. I don't know, how would you guys say the loading times are on the C64 versus the Spectrum? Are they comparable, or is one faster than the other? Okay, up next, this is a complete game. Well, complete in that it has the J card in there. This is, well, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it, Neil. This is an addictive software release. Combined sales of over 400,000 units, okay? This is Football Manager for the C64. I have a hard time believing that this is the #1 football game, but I mean, it just seems strange that a manager would be. This is also during the time when they put a very awkwardly posed game designer picture on the cover. Kevin Toms is the designer, and this was a Golden Joystick nomination. It won Strategy Game of the Year. Interesting, you know, these games, I want to try them, but then I'm just afraid that I'm not going to like them, and I would hate that because there's just something about 80s football games that is so attractive to me. I mean, the art. Just take another look at this art real quick. I don't know how well you can see that. I wish I could get super, super close, but it's got two guys in the football kit, in the classic 80s football kit, and plus, it's just a cool looking thing. This is another product from Prism Leisure Corporation, but they don't give any more information about Prism Leisure. Yeah, I hear you guys. I hear you. Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense, Decronom, because 48K is less than 64K. Fair point. So in that case, 128K games on cassette would take longer to load then, right? This is Glider Rider by Bug Bite Software. Excuse me. And I first, when I read this, I thought this might be a clone of the Glider game for the Macintosh, but it's not. This is an isometric view. It's sort of the opposite perspective of Zaxxon. So in Zaxxon, remember, you are flying kind of up into the rightish, I guess. Yeah, up into the rightish. And in this game, you appear to be flying down into the right. Which seems weird. This is okay, and the screenshots are taken from the Spectrum. I was going to say there's not a whole lot of colors here. Let's see if I can zoom in on this one. I don't know. I probably would have opted to put a little bit more money into the packaging and put the C64 screenshots on here. Although so many games, I'm sure, were just quick and dirty ports from the ZX to the C64. Bug Bite was located, by the way, at 1218 Paul Street, London. And this was a crash smash. The game has the best sound ever heard on the Spectrum, is what the magazine said. The best sound ever heard on the Spectrum is kind of like being the world's tallest midget, you know. Okay, well, multi-directional, go where you like. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you. I will definitely check it out. Okay, this is, oh man, we're moving into the late 80s or early 90s. This is when football got attitude, And by attitude, I mean apostrophe tude. This is Street Cred football. Street Cred football. Look at those guys. They are ready to go out on the street and play some football. Looks like this is, boy, I'm telling you, this looks like another straight Spectrum port. The graphics are nothing to write home about if these are the graphics. But it says an excellent 5-a-side street soccer simulation. So you can select between 24 different tough streetwise city kids. Great effects and realistic footy action. There's a special guest appearance by Joe Blade. If anybody in the chat would like to inform me who Joe Blade was, is this somebody that was a popular footballer in this period? This is from 1989. Okay. Now here's a game I know about. This is Super Hang-On for the C64. Again, they put a quote from your Sinclair on the back. The Sinclair must have just been the dominant computer by a million, you know, and because all I can think about is that, you know, why would somebody who owns a C64 care about what your Sinclair said about a different port? I mean, it would be like if you heard that the Amiga port of Outrun was bad, so you never tried another version. I don't know. But I guess maybe most of the magazines at this time were Spectrum focused. Maybe there weren't just as many C64 magazines they could pull quotes from. But I would love to try Super Hang-On for the C64. Great Amiga port, Super Hang-On. Fantastic. Joe Blade is a game character. Thanks, Fair Fight. Oh, and Retro Man Cave 2. Another Specky game. Okay. When he comes off the front lines, he goes straight to find the tough inner city kids and whip up a quick game of inner city football. Yeah, you're right, Amiga Bong. I'm sure the Specky version came first, and that was what they had at hand when they went to press. Okay. This is another game by the same guy, Kevin Toms. I guess he was the football manager man. This is the sequel, Football Manager World Cup Edition. And says it's more tactical, there's more realism and more playability. The graphics have certainly improved. They've got some still shots in the back here. And again, a Prism Leisure Corporation. They are actually located off Baird Road, right in Enfield in Middlesex. So make sure you look them up next time you're over in Middlesex. I guess this was maybe the third or even fourth Football Manager, although this was sort of like a sideshow to the main series, because this was made available at the same time as Football Manager 2, and then out soon as Football Manager 3. So there's some information for life for you about Football Manager. His head is on the cover. Bam. He wouldn't leave home without his head being on the cover. That doesn't make any sense. He wouldn't give the go-ahead. Now, you guys know, you guys have kept up with these guys. Did Kevin Toms go on to do anything after Football Manager, or did he do the later releases, like the PlayStation releases and things like that? Okay, here is the Bruce Lee cassette from Datasoft. I've played a ton of this on the Atari. I can't wait to put it through its paces on the C64. So that'll be real fun. Real fun. And this is another game set and match from Ocean, 2-in-1. This side, ping pong and match point, and the other side is squash. I'm always fascinated by ping pong video games. Sometimes they're real good, and sometimes they're not. So have to check and see. Oh, interesting, Neil. If you don't have the ability to see the chat, Retro Man Cave said that Kevin Toms moved to New Zealand and then Canada. Then he went into business software, but he's back with Kevin Toms Football Manager on your phone. Okay, now there's 3 sets of tapes here. I'm gonna put these aside for a moment, that are yellow. So did they come from the same developer? They did. Oh, and this is actually the same game, and it's not a game. So all that was wrong. This is, no, it is. It is. This is the world famous SEUCK, the Shoot 'em Up construction kit. Okay, so I guess these are. Okay, it looks like we're missing one of the cassettes, and this is the introductory audio tape. So this was like when they used to do that. When they used to, you put this in your cassette player, and then it just starts talking to you about how to play the game. I could have used that for Liberation Captive 2. Where's my audio tape for that? And then of course you've got the actual real deal here in the dual. You so very rarely saw the dual cassette. At least I did. You know, I grew up kind of on the tail end of the cassette era. I was 12 in 1993, which was about the time that I really started to take an interest in music. And by that time, you know, I still bought a ton of cassettes, but I don't think I ever owned a double cassette. I remember going to Kmart and seeing stuff like the Beatles' Red and Blue albums, which are sort of like their first greatest hits compilation, being on the double. But I never had a double cassette of any kind before. Unfortunately, no Brian Blessed to be seen here on the cassettes. Okay, coming down to the end of this pile, this is Biggles by Silverbird Software. They give you no information about Biggles. It says, chalks away, Ginger, the film brought to your computer. So Biggles must have been a film. Oh, you're following the adventures of a famous World War I hero. So it's kind of like Wings. I bet it's exactly like Wings. Put that away. Okay. And finally, unsheathed, we have the Zap Megatape 2. So I'm guessing that this was a cover tape, because I think Zap was a C64 magazine. This is from '88. It contains Cybernoid 2 and Hawkeye. So yeah, pretty cool. Okay. Get rid of this. And we are done with the 4th box. We have 1 box to go. Drag it over here. Okay. Now, you guys in the audience here, show of hands, who's a CD32 fan? Because I've got a treat for you. I have not even unwrapped this yet. I've just taken off the outer layer. And I'm going to show you some things here. Okay, first up, we have Microcosm for the CD32. I don't know, we have not done this on the Amigos yet. So we got Microcosm. This is a 2-in-1 Team 17 release. I don't know if this might, oh yeah, this is CD32. The box is a little different. They put the logo in the corner. Project X, which we just got done playing on Amigos, and F-17 Challenge. So yeah. F-17 Challenge, I guess, is a pole position type game. So that'll be cool to look at. Yeah, I was wondering about that, Leif. Okay. Here is the most infamous, probably, release of the CD32, the one and only Rise of the Robots. The most overhyped, over budget game, probably maybe in the Amiga's history. This was on the back. The biggest text on the back of the box is including music by Brian May. May I add that track, I believe, is only on the menu screen. I don't think that there's any Brian May music once you're into the fighting. But yeah, robot attack routines choreographed by a martial arts expert. I guess so. Okay, yeah, no kidding, Neil. All right, now here's a game I've never heard of before. Okay, this is Guardian by Acid Software. It says Gamer Gold. Oh, this looks kind of neat. It is a 3D rendered. Looks like you're piloting. It looks like a paper airplane, although I'm sure it's supposed to be some sort of rocket ship. But the environments are very colorful. Boy, Amiga CD32 magazine says, I have no hesitation at all in awarding Guardian the title of best CD32 game ever. So that is high praise indeed. I was looking for a date on this. I don't know when Guardian was released, but yeah, I actually, guys, I didn't even know that there were different style arts for the CD32. I always just assumed that red CD32 or that red Amiga and the white CD32, that was like the standard for all the games. So I'm learning a lot just by going through these. 94. Thank you, Amiga Bond. Okay. This is Now. That's what I call games. Okay. I guess this is a legitimate release, although it looks very much like a bootleg because it's got tons and tons and tons of games on the back. 100, in fact. You can see that's what the back looks like. I guess this is after the That's What I Call Music things were released. Okay, this is 100 public domain and shareware titles plus other demos and goodies. This is also CD TV compatible. So you're probably not going to be getting any AGA graphics out of this bad boy. Okay. This is Deep Core. Maybe Ice Deep Core, or maybe Ice is the developer. There is an alien-looking dude on the front of it. Oh yeah, it is. It says Ice have got a real winner. There are a lot of things that I admire about British English, but my one pet peeve is the way that they singularize corporation, or they pluralize corporations. So like in American English, we'd say Ice has got, because Ice is like a singular entity. But here, in England, it's all, if you have a group, even though it's a one-word thing. I'm going off on a tangent anyway. Ice have got a real winner on their hands with this one, Amiga Action. This is a new shoot 'em up. Not heard of it before. It says there's a stunning intro. That's probably the best part of the game. 9 atmospheric levels, 8 of which you will never see. Aliens and mechanoids galore. So we'll definitely check that out, Deep Core. Hey, Michael, how's it going, man? And finally, I swear I didn't plan this. The last CD32 game of this pack, Frontier Elite 2. So just like yesterday, the last Amiga game I unwrapped was Elite. Same thing on the CD32. So this is distributed by Game Tech. 5 Bath Road, Slough. I know Slough is where the British office was, right? Wasn't that where the British office was? Berks, SL13UA. So, yeah, we now have both the CD32 and AGA versions of Frontier Elite 2. Pretty cool. Okay. So, before I go any further, I feel like I'm not, I just need to turn that a little bit. There we go. Not only does that allow me to gaze directly into your eyes, but it also allows me to see the 1200 XL. We have just a few more games, guys, to unwrap. These are, I'm just going to pull them out as they are in here. Robocop 3. Okay. And of course, Robocop 3, probably most famous for the infamous dongle escapades, where there was a dongle that would sometimes not, even if you had it, the game still wouldn't work. We played Robocop 3 on Amigathon 2 years ago, and we got nowhere because we did not understand the way the driving level was supposed to work. So, but anyway, great picture of the man himself, the cop himself on the back, and there is a free Robocop 3 giant hologram sticker inside, which may be in there, but I don't want to disturb the outer box quite yet. Okay. Here is Wing Commander. This is the Platinum edition of Wing Commander. What that means, I don't know what that means. It doesn't, maybe it's just, oh, I see, this is just a budget release. Okay, not quite as cool as I thought. I thought it might include extra goodies, but it's just the Hit Squad's re-release. You know, the Hit Squad was making money back in the 80s and the early 90s. They were re-released until the cows come home. It says, Amiga Action says, one of the finest games of all time. Your life will never be the same again. What else can you say? Wing Commander. Yeah, these plastic boxes, Randall, I think he might have, I don't know if he was talking to me or if he mentioned this on the Discord, but he bought these plastic boxes there's a seller in the UK that sells these in all different sizes. And they are very nice because it allows you to not only ship games without having to fear, but you can turn around in your hands, you can mess with it a little bit and not have to worry about scuffing up corners or anything. So pretty cool. Yeah, you're right, Paul. I need a 1200 040 for that. Definitely. Okay. Next is Alien Breed 3. So this is, Alien Breed 3D, not 3. I apologize. This is the, when the Amiga was trying real hard to be able to do first-person shooters. It says fast, real-time generated 3D environment, even on a basic A1200. I think the words fast and real-time are, they can kind of mean whatever you want them to mean. But this was a way for Alien Breed to kind of move into the new generation. Another Team 17 release. Team 17, located in Longlands House, Wakefield Road, Ossett, West Yorkshire. I love it. I love it when British addresses are like 17 lines. I don't think because I ship stuff all over with the show, and there's no other country that has so many different strata. It's amazing. It's amazing. I love it. Okay. Up next, this is a Psygnosis game I've not heard of. This is Cytron. Cytron says double the action, double the gameplay. I mean, I'd probably buy it based on that alone. Then some stuff about the story. Yeah. I guess, on the back here, they had such little room to write because they've got to do this in 4 languages. Maybe they couldn't actually tell you anything about the gameplay itself, which is a shame. It appears to look like I don't know. It's a top-down maze sort of deal, kind of like maybe like Mean Arenas or something. I don't know. But anyway, Psygnosis. If it's Psygnosis, it's got to be hard, right? Okay. Another copy of Populous 2. Ooh, Populous 2. So we unwrapped one of these last night. The gods are back, and all hell's about to break loose. We've covered Populous 1 on Amigos, but not yet Populous 2, so I'm sure that that will happen at some point in the future. Okay. Now this weighs a ton. This is, oh, I know why. This is a game called Campaign. And it is a tactical and strategic war simulation from Empire Software. Looking at the back, this is pretty crazy. You've got some rendered 3D models. You're also doing some tactical planning on a map screen. Yeah. Just want to see what's in here. Okay. Here's some campaign discs. Okay, so you got the equipment fact finder here. This thing is a tome and a half. It gives you the stats for every single vehicle in the game, every single gun in the game. Campaign user guide. Or that's the equipment pathfinder. This is the user guide. We've got, again, this just like half of this is just like backstory, and then you go to the quick guide to the campaign over here. The quick guide is 63 pages long. So take from that what you will. We have a poster in here. Dig on for victory. I love that. I love that. I may frame that, and I'm not joking. That's awesome. I don't know if the game came. I mean, that seems like an odd thing, but you know, these, you got your money's worth back in the day. I'll tell you that. When you paid full price for a game, and you could feel the heft in your hands. Here's another one. Look at that. So these are, you know, we see a lot of these from the American side, but I haven't seen a lot of the British propaganda posters. Pretty awesome. I love that stuff. We have two Empire postcards. One says, "Don't be like half-trained Harry." And it's got various things that famous last words, like, "Why are you chaps lying down?" That's kind of funny. Anyway, pretty neat. And then ATS at the wheel. Pretty cool. What else do we have in here? This is a full copy, facsimile, of the Times from July 7th, 1943. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy stuff to put in a video game. And it's like the real deal. Like, there's a story in here about partitioning. It's about the All Muslim League, and about, you know, partitioning India. Amazing. I mean, why would you do that? But thank you for doing it, Empire. Thank you for doing it. That's amazing. That's amazing. I wonder, the Times crossword. I think Adrian Bell was writing the Times crossword in '43. Great author. Anyway. Okay. Sorry guys. I can't stop. I won't stop. In Campaign, we also have this sweet, sweet map of the campaign itself. Check that out. Pretty cool. And that'll do it. Just a big red Empire on the bottom of the box. So this might be the greatest collection of feelies of all time. Gingerly lay these back in the box. That's on top. No original discs though, only copies. Oh, you did Retro Man Cave? Is it a good game? Is it actually fun? Oh, having issues putting the box back on. Okay. Bam. Okay. Set that over there. Look at this. Look at the side view. Pretty awesome. I can't wait. I haven't decided how I'm going to display all this stuff. Like I said, I think I'm going to need a bigger shelf. All right, we have a couple more things to unwrap here. Yeah, no kidding, Retro Man Cave. It was when you've got nothing but time, playing a game like that can be a joy. Now it just makes me nervous knowing that there's so much info. This is the sequel to the award-winning Team Yankee. This is another simulation for the Amiga. This is Pacific Islands. Team Yankee for the next generation. Wow, simultaneous command of 4 tank units. And this is set in the present day in 1995. So I guess Team Yankee must have been a pretty popular game because they mentioned Team Yankee on the back like 16 times. So yeah. I just want to have a quick look in here just to see. This was a £32.95 purchase new. Okay, again, with the copied actual discs. I wonder what these guys did with the real discs. Nice spiral bound manual. I love spiral bound stuff. I mean, stuff that lays flat. That's what you need when you're looking stuff up. This looks like something right out of an Avalon Hill game. These are on glossy cardstock. The different theaters of war here. Now this is what I was hoping I would find. So this looks like some kind of an old ledger. It's got columns for beer and kaffa. I don't know what kaffa is. Maybe it's G-O-F-F-A. Maybe one of you Brits can tell me if you know what that means. But this looks like, this looks like it could have been something that came with the game, but it also, and this is definitely original on the back. It says, Jeff, reference picking up my kit, etc. Please give us a ring. Cheers, Mick. That was probably Mick Jagger that wrote that. He's a big Amiga guy. And of course, Jeff being Jeff Beck. So Pacific Islands, I love these glossy note cards. Okay. The last one is fish and chips. So golf. Oh, is that what it says? Okay. Sorry. Maybe I can't read. All right. Slide that back in the box. This is who? Oh, okay. So the Empire software. Empire, yeah. This is precarious right here. We don't want to injure anything. Oh, okay. All right. Let's making sure. All right, this is it. This is the final game. The final game. What will it be? What better than Player Manager 2, The Chase for Glory? This is exclusive to the Amiga 1200. It says including new Amiga 1200. I don't know what that means. See? Including new Amiga 1200. No idea there. But yeah, it's another Football Manager game. Now this looks really, really advanced. On the back, there are renders up there in the corner there, like 3D renders of players hanging out, doing stuff, being cool. And of course, Player Manager actually was a football game as well as a simulator too. So Anco, but was it Anco? They were the kickoff, weren't they? The kickoff publisher. And inside, you've got all 4 big discs for the 1200 and the instruction manual. All right. Well, folks, that's going to do it for the day 2 of the massive unboxing. I'm here surrounded by new games. It was like before there was nothing, and now there's everything. So I'm going to be a busy boy once I get my new gaming table set up. Once the 600 comes back into town, and I'm going to get together with Aaron, and we're going to run through some of these CD32 games too on his CD32. I don't think he lets his CD32 leave the house, leave Amigo Studios East. But I'll bring these over there, and we can fire them up, because I love playing real games on real hardware. To me, that's where it's at. We should, Leif. Absolutely. If you guys are at all interested, I will be back probably. I know I said this last night, and I wasn't because it was too late anyway. But I will probably be back in about. Well, I don't know. I may be back later to do another stream, another edition of the ranking of Amiga platformers. So if you want to hang out with me while I do that, you're welcome to. But at any rate, thank you one more time, Randall from the UK. If you see him on the Discord, tell him thank you for me, because it's just really, really awesome collection of games. Thank you to Picard 2005, Fair Fight 14, Leif, Neville Overman, Michael Ryan, Necronom, Amiga Bong, Edvin. He had to be here. He had to be here. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you later on. Adios.